Okay, guys. T called me yesterday, and he would like to paint Winston today. So he sent me some pictures. Look at these cute pictures of this cute dog. And I think we'll try to paint him. Animals are not something that I paint a lot. I mean, the dogs are something that I don't paint a lot. And so we're going to have to look at these pictures to remember all the details that are on a dog. Can you still see him? Yeah. Is he not cute enough? So I don't know if you can see right here, but this is this image right here. He just doesn't have his mustache yet. Whoops, I've got blue on my paintbrush. Let's get that off. Okay, so we'll have to go back and get him some whiskers, but let's go on to some of the other shapes that he is here. Can you see this? Yeah. So this one right here, we're going to try to do this guy right here. So I'm going to break it down for you so you can see there's some actual just common shapes in here. So his head, can you see this? Okay. So his head, look at, it's kind of an oblong. So I didn't quite do that right. So I'm going to bring this and do an oblong there. Now, and when I look at the rest of his body, I see a square right here, or actually a triangle. I mean a rectangle, and then his little feet. So if you did an oblong right here for the head, and then you did a rectangle right here for the back of his body, and then coming down to his feet, let's just do a narrow rectangle. What am I thinking? What is the shape I'm thinking? Rectangle, there we go. Okay, so he's got a straight little rectangle here with a slant on the top, and there's a little rectangle right here, and then a little part circle there. So, do you think we're ready to put some paint on him? Let's put his eyes in. So this is one of his ears right here, cute. And then this is one of his cute ears right here. I'm going to bring this ear down just a little more than that circle that we made there. Now, his eyes are so nice and big. So we're going to do two big eyes there. And what I noticed in this rectangle here is his eyes are kind of in the middle of that. So if we drew a line across here, that's where his eyes would be, and that's where I've got him. Did you know his nose is a little diamond shape? And then he has kind of a little line for his mouth. Well, look at his tail. His tail's a little bit of an oblong too, just right there. Okay, that looks like a good beginning. So I hope you can see dark enough there, but I'm going to go ahead and put some paints on him. And he's kind of, I like that he doesn't have a short haircut, because when he has a haircut, he turns more white. But right now, look at that, around his little muzzle there where he has his little whiskers. He's such a pretty color. It's kind of a apricot color or peach color. And so in order to bring that light up a little bit, in order to create that color, I have a little palette plate here, and I am going to use some orange. I'm going to put quite a bit of orange in here. Quite a bit of orange. Then I am going to try to add a little bit more water to get a nice good color. And then I'm going to add some pinkish color. So that's quite bright. I'm going to add a little bit more pink. Okay, that's quite bright too. That's going to be, I'm going to add a little bit of a different color pink, a little darker pinky purple. See if we can get the color a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a little darker than I had used on his other, but isn't that a pretty color? Yeah, that'll be great for highlights and stuff, that color there. And some of his little ears. Okay, so I'm gonna add, I don't usually do this, but actually I'm gonna add a little bit of brown and see what we get there. Still, it's kind of dark. So I don't usually add white, but that's what I'm going to do to get this a little bit lighter. Even just a little bit lighter. Man, how did I get that wonderful color last night? It almost looks like I've got, yeah, that would have been better, wouldn't it? So if I had just not used a deep orange and more of a yellow with that pink, that would have been a better color, but we can keep bringing some in. All right. Ooh, that's kind of nice there. Oh man, that's super nice there. Okay, so we're doing this picture right here. Can you see that? We're doing this one. And we did an oblong shape there. We did a rectangle shape there. We did a narrow rectangle right for that leg, and then a little rectangle right in there. And then his little cute little tail right here, it's spread out. So it's like another elongated oblong. And then we went and we halved this oblong, and that's where his eyes are going to go. And then we made a little diamond shape for his nose. And I did that in pencil, and I can erase some of it. Sometimes when the paint gets on top of the pencil, it doesn't erase all of it, but I can erase parts that, some of the parts I'll be able to erase. Okay, so we're going to go with Winston right here in this little shape, and I can see, actually I put color on that. There's a color there and around his, and I'm going to dilute this because it is quite a dark. I'm going to bring it down to the tail here, and I may have to start over in making us a new color because I am not thinking that's like, I mean, it's beautiful, but see, there's, oh, there we go. That's more a color that I'm thinking. His cute little whiskers here, we're just drawing in with a little darker because that's where his color is, most of his color, and then he has some color on his ears. So I'm going to bring some color here for his ear. So we'll be doing some layering because we'll put one color on, and then we'll want to be adding other colors as those colors dry. So I like this lighter color I've gotten here. So let's go up on the top of his head with it. Yeah. Oh, nice. That's a good color. And I'm going to finish up his ear with that color too. So there we've got his cute, cute little head. And his little ear hangs down just a little more than our oblong. So we're going to bring it down. Oh, and this ear does hang down a little bit. Let's put a little bit there. So isn't he cute? Oh man, Winston, you are cute. We already knew that, but he is a cute dog. And maybe, guys, maybe we'll want to do Hawk next. If we do Hawk, the thing that's hard about Hawk is he doesn't have this extra color that Winston gets when his hair's long. Hawk is kind of white all the time. So now I'm talking, but I'm kind of painting as I'm talking. So Are you guys able to see what I'm painting? So we're talking about Hawk and how Hawk will be harder to paint. We can paint Hawk, but he'll be a little harder because he is white, and white is hard to paint. There's ways that you can do it, and we'll try those ways, but Winston is a little easier because we have these pictures and his cute color. So I'm going to bring this leg in because this one is, do you see? It's just a rectangle right there. And then this one is a little rectangle right here, just right there. There we go. Right here. And then his body kind of comes out here. And this flat line that's the pencil, I hope we can get some of that back out because I should have maybe lightened that up. You can put pencil down before you paint, and you can paint over the pencil. But like I mentioned before, it will erase, especially with your art erasers, but it won't all erase, and I don't know that that line's going to erase. Okay, so I wanted us to look here at Winston's picture and see how his paws are kind of in a line. So this paw is a little shorter and that one's a little longer. So if you did that same line on your paper, then you'd be able to see where to put his paw, his cute little paw. And then there's a line like this way for his other paw. And I don't have that line right. Look at that. I don't have that line right. So I'm going to bring it up just a little bit this way. Actually, I can bring him down just a little bit for sure on this leg. Excuse me. Okay. I really liked when I brought in that color. It's a little darker, isn't it? Yeah, a little darker. That's all right. That's all right. We will still be able to get him. And his cute little under his mouth, I'm going to put there. Looks like he's a little darker on his back right here. Here's his little belly. And his little belly under his leg it's a little darker than his leg, so we're going to kind of make it darker. And that is quite a yellow color, but we can brush that out. Okay, I'm coming back here. Make that, yeah, that's quite yellow, isn't it? We want to tame that yellow a little bit. So when I think we've talked about before, sometimes we have to let the paint dry before we can add paint on top of it. So that right now is what I'm going to have to do, is let this part dry so we can bring in some more color. But on top of it, but it will need to be a little dry. I'm going to see. There's one thing we can do when there's paint and you don't quite like it. You can add a little bit of water to it with your brush, and then we'll just take our cloth. Ooh, look at that. We brought that color back off. And it was just, to me, it was just a little too yellow for this guy. So there, we've got a little more apricot there now than we had the yellow. Okay, we're going to have to let that dry for a minute, and then we'll come back and color it again. So maybe we can now go on to one of these other pictures of Winston, and let's do this one. Okay, he's standing, and look at that cute little face. Oh my goodness. So we're going to do that same thing we did before. we're going to make a oblong here. So that's like a circle, but elongated. Okay, I'm going to do that for his head. And then right here, I see a square. So I'm going to put in a little bit of a square right there. And then behind the square, and using part of the square, can you see? This is like a rectangle. So now I'm going to add the rectangle in. So I want you to see what we're painting. You can't see the picture while I'm painting, but can you, if I put it like this? Okay, maybe you can kind of see there. Okay, see, and then we've got a little leg off of here, his little tummy, and you can see another leg under here. And the legs go a little bit in a line like this, so I can see that this leg is a little too short. So I'm going to make him a little longer, but he's not going to be the longest leg because of the position he's in. This one's going to be longer. So I'm going to have a little bit of an angle right there. Okay, now this way is just, this line goes that way. So this line is going just like that on the side here, and that's how ours is. It's doing that. Okay, so now we've got his whole body and his head shape. So now we can go back in and put his ears. I mean, his eyes. Did I say ears? I meant eyes. I say the wrong words, don't I? So we're going right in half of that oblong, and his little eyes are just above the half line. So it looks like that's how we are there. And then this little muzzle, can you see that? Yeah, this little muzzle's round, so here's our oblong again. So here's our oblong shape again. And then his cute little tail, and that's just a little curve on top of his rectangle body. Okay, so I think we're ready to go with this picture of Winston. So let's, oh my goodness, that's a pencil. I need a brush. I'm gonna dilute this because I really, really think this is a lovely color now. And I don't know if we can lay this so you can see the one we're working on and see the one we're looking at. Okay, so this circle right here, I'm gonna make a little darker because that is his whiskers and they're a little darker. And then I really like his cute little ear here. So we're going to give him some apricot ears. And then this side it's darker right here too. And I'm going to bring my water over here. Easier. Okay. Can you see him? Yeah. All right. So we are, on top of his nose, he has a little bit of color. And at the top of this ear, he's got some of that apricot color. And then this picture, it's quite light across the top of his head. But we'll add some more color there. And there's a little bit of a shadow under this rectangle that's his body. And there's a little bit of shadow under his whiskers here. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit like that. And we're going to give him his little part of his mouth. So now we're going to go on his legs. And we're going to do his other leg. There we go. And we're going to come back. This leg under here is one of our darker points of the picture. So if we have some dark paint, we can do his little leg there. It's kind of a rainy day today, guys, so I hope you can still have fun. I hope you can do fun things inside, because I think it's rainy enough and cold enough that you might not want to be outside that much, but Oh man, I think my thing is, there we go. That's a problem. That's better. I don't know that I'm going to go outside today. I've been going outside every day, but I'm not sure today's the day I'm going to go outside. So these colors are going to dry lighter than you see them when they're wet. And so if one of your colors is a little darker than you want, when they're all dry, they probably won't be as dark. But I think we have to remember that when we did our first picture, I told you there's a lot of color in pictures that you have to really look to see. And even if you don't see it, sometimes it's okay to put color in a picture that's a color that you want in a picture that you don't see it yet. Okay, so now this is a good lighter color here for the top of his leg. And his little bum area is pretty light. And this is a little darker. I'm going to go with some brown. Under his, actually, you know what? I'm going to use some of that brown for his eyes at first. He's going to come alive when we put some eyes in him, until he has eyes. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring some blue into his eye. I should have left a highlight in this one, but I didn't. Okay, and his cute little musket. Oh, I'm going to do his nose. I think that paint's dry enough. Where's my, here we go. There we go. Oh, look at his cute little nose. I didn't mean to add that really to his nose right now, just to his eyes. So I'm just adding it to the brown and it's seeping in. I'm not coloring the whole thing with that dark. You can see his nose is bleeding out here, but that's just okay because it kind of gives it definition there because there is some shadow. And so that'll be just okay. I see some darker ear right here. And a little darker right here. Oh, up by the eyes, we definitely have some nice darker areas. Okay, that's getting kind of overworked there. It's all too wet, so I'm going to have to stop on that one. And we'll come back to him when he's dry. You see this guy? He is dry, and he's looking good. He's looking like we could add some eyes to him. And I'm going for the blue right now. I think I'm going to add a little brown on top of that, because his eyes aren't really all brown, and they aren't really all blue. Winston's eyes are kind of far apart. We want to make sure that we get that little bit of characteristic there. These are pretty closely put eyes. His eyes are a little further apart than that, I think. I'm going to come back over on this one and give him a little more eye there. I'm also going to give this guy a little bit more of his little whiskers there. Okay, now I'm going to have to stop on these guys and we'll come back. But T, I realized that I was painting flowers, and that's not something that you want to paint. So I'm so glad that you asked if we could paint Winston. I hope you enjoyed painting him, and I actually think I'll just make sure you get these pictures of Winston. But what I want to, maybe I'll start a whole new video. Sometimes when they get too long, it's a little harder to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the one off with a doggy, and then I'll start another one with some insects in just a couple minutes. Thanks, guys. Happy painting.